Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we are looking at a super exciting book, major event in my mind, The Avengers-War Across Time by Paul Levitz and Alan Davis. Yes, how amazing is that? Two Titanic classic comic creators coming together to tell this epic Avengers story. Cannot wait to share it with you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. Alan Davis is one of my favorite comic book artists. He is just so classic. He absolutely always draws superheroes so heroically. I love his version of every character, and it does my heart good. I didn't know, I'm definitely old school. If you guys watch my channel, you know that I cover mostly old books. But if you're going to bring a veteran like Alan Davis and then put in written by Legion of Superheroes, DC Comics president Paul Levitz, I'm there, okay? So this takes place, I'm guessing, soon after the events of Avengers 11, way back in, 1962, 63? So this is definitely a retro story. Written by Paul Levitz, penciled and inked, interestingly enough, by Alan Davis. It's nice to see Alan inking his stuff way back in the beginning of his career, like Captain Britain, and then I think some Batman, maybe Batman and the Outsiders for sure. He was inking his own work, and I really loved it, of course. I always kind of love it when an artist inks their own work. But look at this gorgeous classic splash page, typical Marvel fashion. I love it. Like, Paul Levitz is known for DC, but I feel like he definitely has the vibe of a Marvel comic, especially from this era happening. Like, they're always finishing one caper and beginning the next, and it's just never stops. I feel like the characters are written so well in classic. One thing I do have to say, I love Alan Davis's art. I don't know if it's the fault of the colorist, but something feels a little bit off. Like, some of it looks a little muddy. Like, I feel like, I don't know, the film output. I don't know enough about the production angle, but I feel like something is a little wonky and off. So hopefully they fix it by next issue, but it just looks a little fuzzy for my taste because I'm used to such a clean, crisp line from Alan Davis, and I don't know if that's because he's inking himself, it's the colorist, or the printing, or what's happening, but that's all I'll say. Other than that, all the Alan Davis goodness is completely there. I mean, that's such a classic Alan Davis panel there. You know, his characters just dance through the pages and are light on their feet and just look so heroic. It's funny that this is a war across time. How many freaking time travel events has Alan Davis been involved in? I feel like he must just love it. Or maybe they got him for that. Cameo by Peter Parker here. Always welcome. That's always what's so fun about Marvel books. I guess DC is pretty much that way now too, but I feel like Marvel sort of invented the shared universe, and we're always very good about random cameos. Something is so funny about the Hulk's hair here. I don't know if it's looking like I don't know, he's just like an middle-aged kind of balding man or something. I don't know. But, it's supposed to be old school Hulk, but, Kang's involved, so it might be a Kang robot. No spoilers. But Hulk is looking a little weird. I don't know. Maybe Alan was trying to channel, the original, Kirby Hulk, perhaps. I don't know. But, once again, not complaining. But see what I mean? Some of these panels are not as crisp as I feel they should be. But the story is great. Like I said, it's funny because Wasp is I feel like that's accurate. She's just portrayed as I don't know if it's the best way to portray a woman in comic book. All she wants to do is shag Hank and flirt with Thor. So yeah, I guess that's probably not the most flattering way, right, to portray her. Love Hulk taking a Mjolnir to the gut. Very classic looking Thor there. I mean, Alan Davis definitely is just one of the most classic superhero comic book artists of all time. You know, just right up there with John Byrne and George Perez and all the greats. So I think this is a series. Once again, I feel like Marvel's kind of dropping the ball. I feel like it should say like 1 of 6, 1 of 5, 1 of 3, 1 of 2. Like, the new Mr. Fix-It miniseries doesn't either. They just don't. Like, I feel like part of that is in case they decide to turn it into an ongoing series. But what is an ongoing series in Marvel if not a 12-issue maxi series these days anyway? Like, the renumbering is like, I feel like that was one of the biggest mistakes in comic books. It's weird, and I feel like this is sort of like something wrong with the coloring, perhaps. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to remember this old design. It is fun to see, like, the old armor of Iron Man for sure, especially drawn by Alan Davis. But what's that on the... What's happening with his head up there? I don't know. It looks like bolts, perhaps, or I don't know. Anyway, love it either way. And this is a fun Avengers lineup, too. Very classic, right? And a good way to sort of work in the Hulk, since he was kind of a founding member of the Avengers after all. I do love this costume for the Wasp too. And Giant Man. I mean, I don't know, it's funny because it's like, you know, to a modern comic book collector, does this look like super dorky, their costumes? Because I kind of love it. You know, how everything's like more militaristic and leather thanks to Bryan Singer's fetish X-Men film. I mean, in a way that's good, I guess. But I mean, for the X-Men, it's fine because they've, you know, they originally started out wearing the same uniform. But I don't know. I like colorful superheroes. I feel like Suicide Squad and what do you call it? Peacemaker by James Gunn is like a really great way to do superhero costumes on the big screen, or the little screen, as it were. One of my favorite panels in the whole book, and this is the joy and beauty of comic book storytelling, is like we see Iron Man running on the train tracks and then like just the little line of electricity. And it's just completely displayed visually, and you know exactly what is going to happen there. And that's that. Isn't that exciting? Cannot wait for the next issue. So cool. 1964, I guess. Whatever I said earlier. Cool Alex Ross Black Panther painting. Anyway, so that is super cool. Avengers-War Across Time by Paul Levitz and Alan Davis. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more later.